and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bharat, and I'm a mentor at Career Launcher and taking care of Chandigarh Center and Patiala region. So today we have Jairaj with us, All India Rank 65, CLAT 2024, and also All India Rank 24, AILET 2024. So Jairaj, how do you feel getting both the ranks?
Sir, I feel amazing, sir. Yes, sir, definitely. It took quite a lot of hard work and it feels great to finally achieve the result I wanted.
Yeah. So, people generally think that so they have a dream, they should make it to either of a good national law schools. And in your case, so you have NLS Bangalore with you and also NLU Delhi. So must be giving a very good feeling, huh?
Yes, sir, definitely.
All right. Okay. So Jairaj, just tell me a brief about yourself, your background and your brief about yourself.
So I'm from Chandigarh and I have lived here since I was 6 years old. I've studied in Vivek High School, Sector 38 the entire time. So I got first interested in the legal field in 9th grade when I started reading about legal issues, the prevailing laws, especially around that time, the farm bills issue was prominent. So these kinds of things, my interest in the nation, politics, etc., led me towards my interest in law. I some of my hobbies, especially MUN, are also related to this field. I have other hobbies such as playing chess. I've played chess for a long time.
All right. Okay. So when you were in your +1, which stream did you take up?
I have taken up humanities since I knew for a while before that I would be going into the legal field. So I took the subjects, especially legal studies was a very useful subject, as well as other subjects like political science also have good overlap. So they helped to some extent.
That's good. Okay. So, Jairaj, you started your CLAT journey, or I would say you started preparing for your law exams right in your +1. Any specific reason behind that?
Right. One reason was, as I said, I knew that my target area would be the law field. So I knew it was best to start early and focus early. Uh, and my parents had been recommended that CL was a uh, uh, good option by a former student. I think he got Air 2 in 2022 in AILET.
Right.
So I was guided there, and it has definitely been the correct choice.
All right. Okay, that's very good. So, see, Jairaj, so far I know you don't come from a legal background. So your parents, I think they're doctors.
Yes, both my parents are doctors. So
So, so this change from, right from a medical family to a legal family.
I think I did surprise some of my family and friends with that choice, but in the current world there are whole many options, and we should pick the options that are best for us, right? Where our aptitude, our talent, passion lies. So I do have a few cousins doing law, so there were some things there as well. But yes, I have thought about other fields as well. But since 9th grade, at least, I have definitely been towards law only.
Great. Wonderful. So, Jairaj, it has been a long journey for you, right? Almost 2 years. So, would you like to share some strategies or something about your CLAT journey so far?
Well, one thing is that consistency is definitely quite important. And when it comes to something like hours of study, I've heard many people say that study 6 hours, study 7, 8 hours. I believe that that's not the important part. I never study for this much long until the last month. The important part is when you are studying, the quality of your study should be high. You are studying in the useful things in the appropriate manner, and you're studying for all the section. It shouldn't be that, oh, okay, uh, quant doesn't matter, I'll only study GK and make it. Especially this year, we have seen that all the sections were necessary. So you had to properly do CLAT.
All right. Okay. So, this journey with Career Launcher. So, anything specific you would like to talk? Matlab, what all things went right for you, whether it was the test series or what all went right for you, the classrooms, the Manthan, the aspiration account. Well, what all? But so far I know that matlab, you were totally, associated with Career Launcher, whether it was a test series, whether it was anything, your classroom, everything. So, what would you like to share about that experience with us?
Especially in particular GK, first of all, a lot of sources with Karan sir's notes were very helpful. The Manthan provided the main because the main problem with GK is not exactly studying it, but studying what is useful and studying to because with CLAT or any GK exam, there is infinite depth. You can go into a topic and infinite topics you have to study. So there is some expert knowledge to know how much you have to study a topic and what topics are necessary. This is something particularly CL has helped, as well as the mocks I felt that are very of good quality. uh, the difficulty level has varied about enough, so you can be ready for anything.
Okay. So, what were the biggest challenges you faced during this preparation?
Well, one of the big challenges was maintaining my focus for over 2 years while also managing my school and extracurriculars, etc.
Mhm.
Since I have been engaged in quite a lot of extracurriculars, student leadership, etc., I had to balance my time along with preparing for CLAT. That was one of the big challenges.
Okay. Right. So, any specific incident or instance or something specifically you would like you remember, or some something specific, some special incident or something which you remember?
Something specific. In one thing I remember in the legal classes, especially, we had a lot of discussions, especially around current topics, etc. Because ma'am was very open to doubts, etc., and we would engage with each other on questions.
Okay.
Particularly, I remember we had an interesting discussion around, I think, last year's incident that happened in Kamal, the heritage tree wala, and what the responsibility of the school should be. Should we preserve the heritage trees? Should they be cut down, etc.? That was quite an interesting one. I particularly remember.
So how has been your experience with Career Launcher?
It has been a great experience, and CL has definitely equipped me with what I needed to properly prepare for CLAT and succeed in CLAT.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a nice experience overall. The mentors have been very good. Mocks also have been quite good, especially the analysis provided by the website is quite useful. When you look at the percentile changes, etc., it becomes quite a useful tool.
All right. See, I remember, your the entire journey, I think, was at on one side, and the last 2 3 months, so it was totally different. So, how did you feel the way the things went in the last 2 months?
See, in the earlier times, I mainly focused on understanding the concepts and slowly building up everything so that later I wouldn't have trouble. I basically did no revision of the legal section in the last month because I didn't need to do it. I had properly studied earlier. Same to a certain extent with the static GK. Some concepts I brushed up, otherwise, it wasn't necessary. So, in the last few months, especially in the last month, I basically dedicated a lot of my time to solving GK and some time to brushing up and revising logical reasoning. Especially CR Nuggets program was very useful for CR.
Hmm. Okay.
So
So, yeah, please continue.
uh, Right. Another thing, in the last month, I did increase quite by the time I spent on CLAT, because it would help. GK earlier, memorizing wouldn't be very useful, but as in the last month, the GK you memorized would definitely last in your memory longer. So it's best to focus on GK at the end, and focus on the other sections, but you have to maintain a some degree of balance, definitely.
So the workshops, the practice sheets, all contributed
Right,
towards this.
definitely. The workshops in, I think, last 1 2 weeks were quite useful. And those workshops had some questions that were of a higher difficulty, so they'd provide the novelty that would be helpful in the last month.
Good. Okay. So 3rd December, the CLAT day. So how are you feeling when you were there at the venue? I still remember we had a small hi hello on that day. In fact, so
Right.
what was your experience on that day?
uh, Something I had earlier thought of and planned out, and through my practice in mocks, was my basic strategy was, uh, whatever emotions I have before the exam and after the exam, they would be separate. While I'm sitting for the exam, I would keep my emotions aside, just look at what the exam paper says, say okay, answer question, and move on. This was what definitely helped me, because I've heard so many people say, oh, this was such an easy paper, I got panicked, and so I somehow got less marks. I don't understand how that happens.
So
So you have to maintain strong control over your emotions, is the basic answer.
okay. So the moment you came out of the, when you started the examination hall, so were you sure of getting a rank?
I was quite decently sure, since I attempted 119 out of 20, 120. So I was sure that my score would be around 100-ish at the bare minimum. And that's what ended up happening. So I was quite confident in that regard.
Wonderful. So what you thought you got it? Great. And
I mean, what I
I know
thought at that time.
that's very good. And coming to the AILET part, so were you sure about this thing also that you'll be cracking AILET?
I mean, honestly, after seeing the final answer key for CLAT, I didn't give AILET as seriously or with as pressure, but conversely, that probably helped me more, because there was basically zero stress. Even less stress than maybe in a mock, because I knew, oh yeah. So I gave it aram se, and then I got good result because they're keep completely calm mind.
So that means if I take this thing from you, कि ठीक है, CLAT में you had a little pressure and you had all those thoughts going on in your mind. But the way you're saying that when you went for AILET, so you were absolutely free of mind कि भी अब कुछ नहीं है, मेरा तो हो गया है, तो कोई टेंशन नहीं है. So what do you actually want to, मतलब a small advice for the future aspirants?
Yes, definitely. A small advice would be, maintain your calm. Don't take your mocks as seriously. Like, either you get a good score, become too overconfident. You don't get a good score, you have no confidence, because the only score that is going to matter is the last day one. That's all. That's one advice. And even then, you only have to think about what score you will get after you leave the exam center. Until the OMR is with you, you will not be thinking anything about what you are doing.
Okay, Jairaj, I agree to one thing that मतलब you should not be much bothered कि कितने marks आ रहे हैं या नहीं आ रहे हैं. But I think you should be definitely bothered about one thing, that mocks are very important to give.
Yes, definitely. The seriousness should be that I have gone to the center at the time allotted. I have spent 2 hours. I have spent all my effort, and I have given the mocks properly. So the seriousness should be in your attitude, and not with respect to how well you're doing is exactly, but how much effort you are putting in. Because how well you are doing will automatically reflect by your effort. Because maybe at the start you're not getting scores, but by the end you will get scores if you do the proper effort. So don't worry about things that you shouldn't be worrying about, essentially.
Great, wonderful. So now, Jairaj, when the things are very clear, the allotment list is just a mere formality, because NLS Bangalore is there. All right. So, look, what do you do now? Most looking forward to your law school, your life at law school. So, what are you, actually, what are you looking at?
That is a good question. The first thing is I'm looking at learning a lot more, because I mean, first point of college, 5 years I will spend learning a lot more, both academically and also the life skills that will serve in my career in the future. So I'm basically looking forward to college life and all that it entails.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, one final question, Jairaj. So this journey to CLAT. All right, you have been preparing it well, for almost 2 years. So okay, fine. The result is there. I made it. I'm into NLS Bangalore, right? All India rank 65, all India rank 24. Agreed. But this preparation of CLAT, personally, how has it impacted you? How has this preparation impacted you on a personal front?
Good question. Well, to a certain extent, this has reinforced a sense of discipline, that because this is the one exam that I have prepared over 2 years for, and I have consistently done it. Maybe in between there might be some break, but more or less has been. So it has inculcated that strength of discipline, consistency, etc. That is, I believe, other than the result, that is the main thing I've learned.
So great. All right, Jara. Wish you all the very best, right? And well, I think asking this question, so what will be your final choice is absolutely not applicable out here, right? But somehow I think, as a student, this is a wonderful feeling. The two major exams, I have cracked both the exams and with flying colors. All right, with Amala as a top ranker, and the most important part, how do you feel being the city topper? You know, almost, well, I remember almost 900 and so I think almost 1,000 students appeared for this exam. All right, from this city. And now, how do you feel being a topper amongst them?
It is quite a surreal feeling to see that I am the city topper. It has definitely reinforced my sense of confidence in myself. So quite great. That's basically it. Quite
And
great.
so, had you been to the school after the result?
Uh, no, I am going tomorrow because pre-boards holidays there were.
So,
Next
looking
pre-board is
towards going
tomorrow,
as
so
a
I'll give that.
so looking towards going as a city topper to your school.
That would definitely be great.
Yeah.
Fun.
Wish you all the very best, Jairaj. All right,
Thank you,
and
sir.
you have achieved a wonderful milestone, and wish you all the very best for a lovely journey ahead. Because I think CLAT is just the beginning of a wonderful journey.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So wish you all the very best and a big congrats to your parents. I've been talking to your mom and the way she has, actually devoted the last 1 year with you, leaving us at everything.
Definitely,
That's
my
a wonderful, my full regards to her, the way she has been with you in your journey. I think जितना क्लैट तू तैयारी कर रहा था उससे ज्यादा तैयारी तेरी मॉम की तेरे साथ.
you can definitely see that I received full support from my parents in this regards.
Seriously, wonderful. Wish you all the very best. And please convey my best regards to your family also. Wish you all the very best, Jairaj.
Thank you, sir,
Right.
and I will
Bye bye.
definitely
Take care,
do that.
Jairaj.
Bye, sir.
Bye, Jairaj. Bye, Jairaj. Bye, Jairaj.